In this video, I'll uncover the causes of electrolyte imbalances. Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Zarowski and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community so I can help you excel your health and your life. In this video, I'm going to uncover the causes of electrolyte imbalances. Now, this is a hot topic today, and the reason for it is because many everyday people who are trying to live a healthy lifestyle are having electrolyte imbalances. So we're going to talk about the causes, but the thing is that when we look at these electrolyte imbalances, is the different symptoms that come out of it are in many cases scary and really make you feel very uncomfortable. So we'll discuss the different electrolytes that are important, and also we'll discuss the causes, why it's happening. Let's dive in. Now, when we look at the electrolytes, first of all, these are the major heavy hitters that are going to play a huge role in your overall health and how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. Sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, magnesium, and phosphate. When those become imbalanced in the body, a lot of nasty symptoms can come out of that, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. First, let's talk about the imbalance causes. Why is this happening? So when we look at sickness in general, let's talk about the flu, for instance. If you get the fever, you're vomiting, you're sweating, these are all reasons that you will create an electrolyte imbalance in your body. Many people who are getting sick, they go and feel terrible from not only the sickness, but then they feel terrible from the electrolyte imbalance and they don't know why. If you ever get sick, make sure you're putting those electrolytes back in. Poor diet. Now, this is a major reason. So a lot of people are following a very poor quality diet, and if you're not eating nutrient dense foods that is going to nourish your body with the proper minerals and all the other nutrients that you need, then you're going to drive an electrolyte imbalance. So we have to make sure we're always focusing on a nice, good, whole food, high quality diet. Hormone imbalance and endocrine disorders, these pretty much go together because you can't have an endocrine disorder without a hormone imbalance. So let's think of like an endocrine disorder like a thyroid problem. Many people are suffering from thyroid problems. This creates an imbalance. If you have hormone imbalances, let's say you have a lot of stress, cortisol is very high in your body. That'll cause it. Let's look at metabolic hormones like insulin. You have high insulin levels because of that poor quality diet that you're eating. Well, that will also go and drive an imbalance. And even medications that artificially drive hormone imbalances like a birth control pill, those will also cause that electrolyte imbalance. So take all that into consideration. Malabsorption is the next thing that we have to pay attention to because a lot of people suffer from gut issues. Now, gut issues like inflammatory bowel issues, looking at things like Crohn's and IBS and ulcerative colitis, and even imbalances in the microbiota, meaning basically a bacterial imbalance within the gut. These all lead to malabsorption, cause a lot of issues. So take that into consideration. Medications like antibiotics, corticosteroids, hormone-based medications, these all drive the electrolyte imbalances, and a lot of people are using these today. Kidney damage. So if you have any type of kidney issue, the kidneys play a huge role in your overall electrolyte balance. Low carb diet or even the ketogenic diet. So we have to make sure that when we're following a ketogenic diet or the low carb diet, we're always adding electrolytes back in, because what happens, especially when you first start the diet, you flush a lot of water from your body and the electrolytes go with it and you feel terrible. That's what the keto flu is about, right? So if we are someone who is going into this diet, we go in and add the electrolytes in, essentially we feel so much better for it. And so we want to make sure that if we're following these diets, we're always adding electrolytes in to give us a better quality of life and not feel like garbage. Fasting is another one. Now, if you're doing a 4-day fast, 7-day fast, you're doing one meal a day, you're doing intermittent fasting, these are all reasons that you can have electrolyte imbalances. So be aware of that. When people go and they're just fasting and not adding in any type of electrolytes, a lot of times they feel terrible. And that is a reason that a lot of people will just stop. Where if you actually add those electrolytes in during the fast, you feel so much better. So make sure that we take that into consideration, because fasting is a powerful tool. And I'll put a link in the description below to my fasting playlist because I have tons of information on that. Filtered water. Now, one of the things in my home is that we hyperfilter our water, and the reason for that is because we have to get the chemicals out of it. Now, if you live in the city, you probably have fluoride in your water, you probably have chlorine in your water. And if you live like in the country and you're using a well, you have problems like arsenic and different herbicides and things like that coming from the farm fields. Now, I live in a farming community, so that's something that we definitely take into consideration. And one of the problems with filtering your water is that you take the minerals, you take the good stuff out with the bad stuff. So of course you want to get the bad stuff out. And what I do is we just add electrolytes back into our daily regimen, because I know that we're pulling the electrolytes and the minerals out of the water, and that's just the way it is. Yes, you can go and add it back in through special processes, but it gets really costly, and it's a very convoluted process, trust me. So just use something to add it in on a daily basis. Food quality is the next major topic of discussion. What I'm referring to here is the actual nutrient density within your food. So it's a big problem today. When we look at organic farming or even natural farming, I live in a farming community, essentially the conversation is always, how do we add more nutrients back into the soil? How do we actually deal with the problem of mineral depletion? And so what's happening, and what I'm telling you, is that when you're getting your good, healthy food from the store, in many cases, it has a decreased amount of nutrients compared to what it did 40, 50 years ago. The soil is very different, it's very depleted, and you're just not getting the nutrients. And so that's why a lot of good, well-intended people who are eating healthy diets are still having electrolyte imbalances, because the food quality isn't there like it used to be, and the nutrient and even the mineral levels within the food is much less. Last on our list is exercise. So if you're participating in any type of endurance exercise or any exercise that's causing you to sweat a lot, you will be dumping those electrolytes. And I always tell my story about how, between a low carb diet and doing fasting and also filtered water and exercise, I drove myself into an electrolyte deficiency, and it caused so many different symptoms and caused me to really feel absolutely terrible. I mean, we're talking anything from heart palpitations to muscle twitching. I mean, you name it. And what I'll do too is I'll put a link up here to a video that I did that talks about the symptoms of the electrolyte imbalance, and I'll put it in the description here below. So what I do is I use an electrolyte powder, and it's a delicious hydrating electrolyte powder that has all these major electrolytes that are important for your body within it. So what I'll do is I'll put a link to that in the description below. That's how I keep electrolytes up in my body. Like I said, I'm doing all these different healthy lifestyle things, like filtering my water, following a low carb diet, endurance exercise. I need the electrolytes, and so that's how I keep it in my system. Now, a lot of people ask too is, how do you go about going and seeing what your electrolyte levels are? So a lot of people will look at the symptoms and they'll go, on that checklist there, I have a lot of them. Let's go ahead and try it. Electrolytes are very inexpensive, so you can go ahead and just add them into your lifestyle, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then you can go this step further. The step further is getting a blood test. Once again, you're going to spend a little bit more money here, so a lot of people don't want to go this route first. They want to just look at the symptoms. Now, as far as how you're going to measure these accurately, like I said, you get that blood test. It'll tell you, what your different electrolyte levels are, and then you'll be able to know with pinpoint accuracy what you need to focus on. So you can look at the symptoms first, and then if you want to go that step further, get the blood test. But either way, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And also, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section here below and share this video with your friends. A lot of people are suffering from this issue, and they just don't even know where it's coming from. Now, also subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. And then check out my other videos on how you can improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.